Well, summer is fully underway and we've got some big movies coming out for the rest of the year, but not just in the entire rest of the year, just for the remainder of the summer. We've got some massive, massive films coming out. Now, we've been talking about for a while that it looked like 2026 was really going to be that recovery year that we've been waiting for post-pandemic. And so far, we're there. Like the first couple of quarters of the year have seen us on pace or ahead of pace of the pre-pandemic year of 2019, which is great. But how many billion-dollar films? How many films will get so many people going out to the movies this year that they actually join that coveted billion-dollar club? Now, I've got 5 films for us to discuss here, guys. So the ones that I think have realistic chances, at least a chance of being a billion-dollar film. I've never thought Supergirl had a whiff of being a billion-dollar film, so that's not on the list. So I want to go through the 5 films that we're going to talk about. Are Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're going to talk about the Odyssey, Moana, Minions and Monsters, and Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5's already opened, but it's just opened. So we're going to talk about these 5, and we're each going to list them in the order of least likely to join that billion-dollar club to most likely to joining the billion-dollar club. So I'll get things started here. Starting with me, out of those 5 films, I think the one that has a chance to join the billion-dollar club, but has the least likely chance of joining it, is not that one. It's this one, Moana. Listen, I absolutely think doing this Moana movie is a good idea. I do. I love the original Moana. I think when you do things in animation and live action, even if they're almost identical, they deliver completely different experiences to me. And I think it was a good idea. I mean, hell, the animated film was like the #1 streaming movie in the world for like 3 or 4 years straight, just recently. I mean, so the popularity of the character, Moana 2, which was nowhere near as good as Moana 1, but Moana 2 joined the billion-dollar club. So, I mean, making a live action Moana, I think was a good idea. So why do I have it down at the bottom of my list? I have it at the bottom of the list because I don't think the trailers have been all that great. I think it just kind of looks like an also and project. And there have been live action adaptations that I've seen the marketing for and thought, yes, this is definitely one to do. But for whatever reason, the marketing for this one has been kind of blasé. So I'm going to say, well, it still has a chance at $1 billion because it is a Moana film. I'm going to say it has the second least likely chance to join the $1 billion club. All right. My second least likely to join the $1 billion club, but definitely has a shot at it, I'm going to say is the Odyssey. Now, some of you might think I'm crazy for not having this higher on the list, but a couple of things to keep in mind. Christopher Nolan has never had a film join the $1 billion club that didn't have the word Batman in it. Well, wait a minute. Dark Knight didn't have the word Batman in it either. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm talking about. So, he's never had $1 billion. That includes Oppenheimer, which almost got to the $1 billion mark, but it didn't quite. This is going to be an R-rated film, so there's only been 2 R-rated films in history that have joined the $1 billion club. That was the first Joker, and that was Deadpool and Wolverine. So only 2 have ever done it. Now look, Odyssey is going to be a massive hit. A massive, massive hit, no doubt. And it very well could make the $1 billion club. I'm not going to bet against it. I'm just saying out of this list of 5, I think 3 other films have the better chance. All right. So least likely, I'm going to say Moana. 4th is going to be Odyssey. For me, the next one down is going to be, or at least in 3rd spot here, I'm going to say is Minions and Monsters, which once again, I keep bringing up the wrong thing. Minions and Monsters. Look, these things just crank out money. They just crank out money. And especially this year, the last couple of years, whether it's been Inside Out 2 or Zootopia 2, and right now Toy Story, which we'll talk about in a second, the family films, especially the well-recognized family films, are just bringing people out in droves. And I don't see any reason now. Do I think Minions and Monsters is going to be as big as Zootopia 2? No. Do I think it's going to be as big as Toy Story 5? No. But do I think it has a very legit shot of being a $1 billion film? I absolutely do. So I'm going to say Minions and Monsters is the third most likely on this list to get to the $1 billion club. All right. That brings us to the second most likely. And that is one that is already in theaters, and that's Toy Story 5. And again, we're going to talk about Toy Story more in just a little bit here. But Toy Story 5, of course, just had the biggest opening of its franchise history. It had the biggest opening of any film this year. We're going to talk about this in a minute, but it also just had the biggest Monday box office of any film of the year. So it's going to keep rolling. I think it's almost a certainty that Toy Story 5 will cross that $1 billion mark. And so I'm putting it in the second most likely. And the most likely one to join the $1 billion club is actually one that people are debating about whether or not it's going to be a $2 billion thing or not. And that's Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't think there's any doubt. Now look, all 5 of these films could potentially join the $1 billion club. I'm just saying, if you had to bet real logistical money on one of them absolutely joining it, it's going to be Spider-Man Brand New Day. Again, for a lot of people, the argument isn't whether or not it becomes a $1 billion film. A lot of people argue about whether or not it's going to be a $2 billion film. I don't think it'll hit 2 billion, but I do think 1 billion is an automatic at this point. So from least likely to most likely, Moana, Odyssey, Minions, Toy Story 5, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Rob, you had to look at these 5 films. You tell us, what is the order of likelihood of any or all these films joining the $1 billion club?
Well, I think you pretty much nailed it. I mean, I would put, all right, you said Minions was third, right? So it's from descending. I can't argue with what you've stated. I think Moana, though, might have a better chance of hitting $1 billion. Maybe put that up one more.
So over
Odyssey?
Over Odyssey. Yeah. I think Odyssey, in my mind, is the big wild card in this because just because the genre, call it sword and sandal, call it what you will. I mean, Christopher Nolan has become his own genre. So never bet against C-Note, right? But I think that a lot of his movies, as good as they are, like I love Dunkirk. But it only made $500 million. But, for Warner Brothers, that was huge because they never thought a British story from World War II would make that much money. But I think the Odyssey is a bit of a risk, to be honest. And, the spectacle of it could be great. But I would put Moana, I would bet on Moana first before I would bet on the Odyssey, as crazy as that might seem. And I could be proven wrong. But Moana, being that it's one of the most beloved animated films, and the second one did well, and this, you've got Dwayne Johnson coming back. I think Moana is kind of a lock for $1 billion. But then
really,
but then the others, if it's good, if it's good. But I think with Minions, we saw that. I was not really interested. The Minions movies are fine, not my thing, but that CinemaCon trailer we saw, because of the subject matter in old Hollywood, I'm like, oh, I'm in. It looked great. So I'm into Minions. And then of course, Toy Story is going to make $1 billion. And of course, Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to make $1 billion. So,
all right, Brian, you got the list of 5 films for you. In order of least likely to most likely, which ones get into the $1 billion club?
Well, I do watch your show regularly, and I feel like justified because my list matched John's exactly. Like I was just nodding the entire time. I do think, though, Rob makes a great point about Moana, even purely just because of the Disney machine. But I put Moana as the least likely because I think there's a little bit of rock fatigue, actually. I think that also, Moana, like you said, great, amazing first movie. Second movie did even better, but a lot of people that I talk about are like, why are we doing a live action of this one specifically? And so I don't know if it's too soon after Moana 2 came out to do that. And I do feel there's a little bit of rock fatigue in the movie space. The audiences can prove me wrong. They probably will. But I did like what Rob was saying. It may have a chance to hit 1 billion. But at least from my perspective, when I talk to people, like I don't know any of my friends that are saying, I've got to take my family to go see Moana. I know Minions, Toy Story, Brand New Day are going to be a higher priority than Moana this summer. I do like Odyssey at number 4 because just the genre, the style of movie, it's rated R. That's why I put it at 4. But I mean, the Brand New Day at number 1, I'm not saying Toy Story 5 should and could top it, but it's really comes down to we haven't seen really Marvel catch their mojo or their juju again. And I think a lot of people are curious if Brand New Day can kind of lead to that. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
the Brand New Day is going to be a really interesting indicator of how people are going to really digest what's coming when we talk about Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think it's a really important film for Marvel. I don't know if it'll hit 2 billion like other ones have, but I think Brand New Day, this might be the most important Marvel movie in a long time. And I know we say that every time, but I really think when it's Spider-Man, when it's that flagship character that also does well internationally, there's a lot riding on it for them.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be, and you're right. I've heard every other film on this list. I've heard people saying, can't wait to see Toy Story 5. Can't wait to see Odyssey. Can't wait to see Spider-Man. Can't wait to see Minions. I haven't heard anybody say, man, I can't wait to watch Moana. I'll be there opening day, but I haven't heard a lot of people say it. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? These are the films that I think are most likely to hit the $1 billion mark. How would you order them in terms of least likely to get there to most likely to get there? And do you think there are any dark horses that maybe you think I left off the list? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, Hims. You know, one of the hardest things about trying to lose weight is just figuring out what actually works. Because we've seen them all. There are a million trends, diets, and gimmicks out there, and honestly, it can get overwhelming. And that's why weight loss by Hims really stands out. Hims now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill at its lowest price ever, and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at Hims, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite and eat less, so success is within reach. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever and only GLP-1 available in a pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. And the process is extremely convenient. Everything happens online. You connect with a licensed provider who determines if treatment is right for you, and if prescribed, your medication gets delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. Ready to reach your goals? Visit hims.com/Campea to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's HIMS.com/Campea. hims.com/Campea. Based on advertised cash price for 30-day supply of medication only. Membership required, fee not included, and billed separately. Weight loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk A.S. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit hims.com.